Hello, what is up? Welcome back, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. My name is Brandon Osborne. You may better know me as Control for Days. Today, I am taking you through a modern league with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth. Maybe you've heard me say that before, but today we're switching it up. We're changing the list. This past weekend, I ran in the Modern Challenge. I had a bit of success with a list that was... The main deck was identical to what you see here. The sideboard was fairly different. So we're switching things up a little bit, tweaking and trying some new cards. And I want to explore those new cards a little bit today. First, before we get started, let's go through the main deck and the sideboard and talk about the card choices. My main deck is very rarely changed. The only change that I've made as of recently is I put Patron into the main and cut the Geralf's Messenger altogether. Just because the format's very fast right now, it's very aggressive, a lot of aggro strategies. Messenger is not good in that metagame. This is not something I've tested extensively, but I had some really good success with it this past weekend and it felt good, so this is what we're going to run today. 3 Eldritch Evolution, 2 Endurance, as opposed to the 4-1 split that a lot of people run. 1 Prosperous Innkeeper, 3 Wall of Roots. Mana base, fairly stock, nothing too crazy. I don't run Yavimaya, I don't run Urborg. In place, I run a 2nd Twilight Mirror and a 3rd Blooming Marsh. Sideboard today is where we're trying some new things out. Let's start with things that are pretty standard for me. 2 Endurance, 1 Scavenging Ooze as our Graveyard Hate. Force of Vigor, I run 3 of them. It's the best way to remove artifacts and enchantments. It's better than Crime Punishment. That's why I run 3. Haywire Might, I've decided that I like it better than Outland Liberator. That's why it's in the sideboard. Veil of Summer for Scam and Murktide. Thoughtseize for combo decks, Tron, Amulet, decks like that. I only run 2. Most matchups, I feel like 4 is too many. 3 is too many. I like 2. I think that's the sweet spot. Today I'm running 1 Fatal Push. I think 1 mana removal is pretty good in this format. So we're trying Fatal Push as opposed to Blood Chief's Thirst, which we ran this past weekend. And the highlight of today's list, 2 Thorn of Amethyst. I'm curious to see how this card performs in the given meta, in the current meta, because I don't know, I think there's a lot of decks that this card is really good against. So we're going to see if my hypothesis, I feel like I said that already. We're going to find out if I'm right on that one. We also have a Magus and a Necromentia to round out the sideboard. Let's jump in. Let's see how this league goes with version 8.7. Let's do it. All right, everybody. This is match 1 of our Modern League. We are playing against Izme, I think is how you pronounce that. We are on the play with a very acceptable 7-card hand. Nothing spectacular, but it has the potential to be a turn 2 Grist, so we're going to keep this. Our opponent has revealed a Gigantha. Let's go. Oh, we're on the draw. We're not on the play. My microphone over here, it blocks my my ability to see play draw over there, so I guessed wrong. Opponent leads on a fetch land into a Stomping Ground. Lets it come in tapped, which is a little weird. The fact that they did that during their turn. We're going to lead on our Ignoble Hierarch past the turn back. Turn 2 for Izme. Let's see what they do. Another Stomping Ground. They're going to go down to 17 there and play out a Wrenn 6. And I think our Hierarch is biting the dust. And this is not good for us. Our hand does not line up well against a Wrenn 6. Given what they've played out up to this point, I feel like there's a chance they could be running Blood Moon in their list. And for that reason, I think I'm going to play out the Catacombs and then just pass from here. The reason I'm playing the Catacombs is it gives me an opportunity to fetch basic if I need to. I mean, if they cast a Blood Moon, we'll be in pretty deep trouble, but at least we'll have a basic to go with it. We'll see what they do here. They play out their Foothills, they fetch, get a basic Mountain. Alright, so that leads me to believe that they are not playing Blood Moon. Play a Power Conduit. I've seen this card before. Remove a counter from a permanent you control. Put a charge counter on target artifact. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Gotcha. And a spell bomb. Okay. Not sure exactly what they're doing here. I'm just going to fetch out my basic forest here and now. They have 4 cards in hand. We draw more 1-mana creatures that are fodder for Wrenn and 6. Uptick our Grist and pass the turn here. Currently Grist is safe from the removal that they have on board, but they're 1 damage short of being able to kill it with like Wrenn and 6, and they're killing my insect here. So if they can cast like, if they hit the spell bomb on Grist and then bolt, they could kill our Grist. But they instead play out a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So on our turn, this is an interesting situation. So I can play out my Overgrown Tomb untap, play out my bird, evo my bird into a 3-drop. The only thing is I don't know that I really have any 3-drops that are worthwhile. I can get a Strangleroot Geist and have them pop their spell bomb, I suppose is an option. I think we get a Geist here, but I don't love it. I'm gonna play this untapped. Play a bird, get an evo. I could also get an endurance. I don't think that that really does very much. I feel like the move here is Geist. So, and then we're gonna attack in, try to kill the Wrenn and 6 here. I imagine they're gonna sacrifice the spell bomb to kill it. Oh, I didn't realize that was an option. Okay, never mind. Sure. I guess I should have read that card a little more carefully. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Gotcha. Alright, we'll uptick our Grist. Y'all goes to the graveyard. We'll pass the turn here. I guess this is the perks of playing a deck that nobody knows. Nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody knows the cards. Alright, their Fable triggers. What just happened there? They got a second. Oh, okay. I see what they did. I gotcha. Okay, so they removed a counter from their Fable to put a counter on the Goblin, so they can just keep making... Okay, I got it. It's an interesting little combo they have there. So they're attacking our Grist, putting it down to 1. We'll see if they have a way to remove it from here. There's another Wrenn and 6, sure. That's fine. Being on the draw this game has just been pretty brutal. Just the fact that our 1-mana creatures, I mean, they've all just gotten eaten by Wrenn and 6. It's pretty tough to come back from this, given the texture of our hand. At this point, the best card we can draw is a Yawgmoth, I would imagine, of which that is not. I suppose I can evo Hierarch into an Endurance. I still don't think that that's good enough. I can just play a bunch of 1-drops out. I can play out the Dryad Arbor, Ignoble, and Grist. The Wrenn 6 eats one of them. It doesn't feel great regardless of what I do here, but I think I'm just playing out my hand and hoping to draw a 2-drop next turn. 1 toughness creatures galore. Not great. I wonder if they have Urza's Saga in their list as well. Feels like they might with the Spell Bomb in the main deck. Yeah, the Shadow Spear as well. I would think so. Okay, they plus on their Wrenn and 6. Equip the Shadow Spear. Play an Expedition map. Okay, so yeah, they're definitely running Saga in this list. Swing at me. Grist. We're just going to take everything. Expedition map, they're popping it. Getting themselves an Urza's Saga as predicted. And yeah, our way out of this is just Yawgmoth, so that's what we're looking for. Yawgmoth, not it. Okay, I'm tempted to just scoop from this point, but I guess we're not dead just yet. Yeah, I'm gonna play out my Yawgmoth and then attack Wrenn and 6 down to 1, and then we'll pass the turn from there. So we're gonna take a pretty big hit on their next turn. Take 5 there, so we'll block these 2. So we'll go down to 6, or potentially less. And with the Power Conduit and the Saga, they can just keep the Saga at 2 and search something new every single turn as well. So they got a little bit of a combo going there. Sylvan Scrying, sure. I mean, it's a cool deck. Doesn't really seem like something that would be particularly competitive, but I mean, it's got powerful cards. I say this as we're getting our butts kicked here. All right, here comes an attack. Sure. Get your treasures. Still not out of this, believe it or not. We can actually win this game still if we draw a 2-drop. Okay, that makes it a little bit harder. That makes it a little more difficult. 1, 2. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna scoop it up at this point. Don't think we're winning from this position. Okay. Post board, Force of Vigor's Haywire Might. We're also gonna bring in the Endurance. And I think Scavenging Ooze is fine as well. I don't think Fatal Push is good enough. I think this is our sideboard here. Cards we are cutting. I don't like having all of these Birds of Paradise with Wrenn and 6s. I don't love Yawgmoth either. Double Endurance, 1 Might. I think we're going to cut some number of Chords or Evos. Probably a Chord. I don't love Innkeeper in this matchup either. I like having Geist to swing down Wrenn and 6. Maybe we don't need the Ooze. Yeah, I think I'm going to shave another Chord of Calling here. And we'll go with this. Alright, let's see how this goes. Opening 7 is fine. Yeah, it's kind of medium. I feel like we can do better than this. This is not very good, but I think we're going to keep this. Not the greatest hands. We'll keep this and we'll get rid of a Verdant. And our opponent started with 7 cards in hand. Okay. We'll lead on our Hierarch and pass the turn. Best case scenario, we draw into a like a Grist, assuming that this doesn't get bolted. Okay, they have a Ragavan, sure. Yeah, Grist would be pretty good right now. That was not very good. I'm not feeling particularly confident about our chances this game. I'm very, very tempted to chump block this here. I think I'm just gonna take it. Chump block it, meaning with a Dryad Arbor. We had another land on top of our deck there. All right, they fetch. Spell Bomb. Feels like our Hierarch's gonna die. And there it goes. All right, I'm gonna fetch Tomb here. They can't be playing Blood Moon. They're playing Force of, or they're playing Urza Saga, so it doesn't make sense that they would be playing Blood Moon. Yeah, I guess we just play our fetch land and pass the turn. Not great. Some pretty anemic hands so far. Hands and draws. If they tap out, I'm going to get the Dryad Arbor here. I don't think they're going to tap out, but we'll see. All right, they got themselves a Scavenging Ooze, which is pretty good. Yep. Fetch, shock, and play out a Springleaf Drum. They have 4 cards in hand. I'm actually going to take a risk. I'm going to get Dryad Arbor here. All right, drew into a Yawgmoth, which is pretty good. So having Yawgmoth here gives us a clean answer to Ragavan. Hopefully we can get to our next turn with Yawgmoth in play. We'll see. Okay, they're oozing. Hitting our Hierarch here, sure. And we're not in a position to block the ooze, which kind of stinks. And if they have removal for our Yawgmoth, we're in deep, deep trouble. All right, they're minus our Dryad Arbor. We're going to hit the Ragavan here. Wall of Root's not terrible. They have 4 cards in hand. They play a land untapped, and they don't attack, which is really nice for us. All right, another Yawgmoth. From here, we're going to play out a Wall of Roots. I think our best draw at this point is finding ourselves our Hapatra. I think that's how we get out of this situation. And I minus the Wall of Roots like that just in case we draw into a Chord. I imagine the Wrenn and 6 is going to target the Yawgmoth. Ooze is getting very big. It's our Ooze. It's messed up. Okay. Target the Ooze here. We'll drain 1, and then we'll just gain 1 back. Yeah, they really did hit a winner off that Ragavan there. probably one of the best cards they could possibly hit. Power Conduit, sure. Wooded Foothills, sure. Yeah, they're really protecting this this Wrenn and 6, which is a little strange. I think we're gonna draw with this peatland. Okay. Okay, we have an Evo. So I think we're pretty close. I think we're in a pretty good position here now. Alright, so we're gonna Evo our Yawgmoth. They're gonna eat it. Yes, it's fine. They're thinking, waiting. And we'll get ourselves a Hepatra. Now, as long as they can't kill this Hepatra right here and now, we're okay. They have 2 cards in hand, and they're paying costs. I'm guessing they're going to eat the Wall of Roots, which is fine. I'm not sure if I'm going to go all the way here. It really depends on what I draw into. Okay, so we have double Force of Vigor here. Yeah, I think I'm just going all the way here. They only have 2 cards in hand. Alright, that's pretty good. We're at 5 life. Didn't draw a single land in all of that. Okay, Endurance. So we can cast an Endurance and Cord for a Wolf, but I think we're just going to save that for a turn. I'm going to swing down the Wrenn and 6. Do a charge counter on an artifact. Got it. That's fine. Then we're going to move to discard. We're going to get rid of, I think, an Evo, a Bird, and a Yawgmoth. Upkeep. I'm not going to do anything upkeep, but I'm anticipating having to use this Force of Vigor on their turn. Sure, they have 2 1/1s. Okay, we're going to Force of Vigor here. And we'll see what they do from this point. Okay, good. And I think, so if they have another Wrenn and 6, I'm going to block like this. If they have Wrenn and 6, they'll be able to eat my Hepatra, but I think that's okay. We'll see what they have here. They fetch, they shock, Steam Vents, wasn't expecting that one. Interesting. Okay, from here, I'm going to lead on the Might. We're pretty close to just killing them. So I can Endurance Cord, get a Blood Artist, and then go from there. I think that's reasonable. This is a strange game here. We're going to shuffle their graveyard. Okay, and they concede. Alright, so game 3. On the draw, I wonder if we want Thoughtseize to get rid of Wrenn and 6. And they do have Ragavan, which we saw that game, so we're bringing back a Wolf. I don't think Thoughtseize is good enough. This is close. Wonder if we shave a Grist. Do this. Okay. Game 3. Let's go. That was on a mulligan, and I think we're mulliganing again. I don't think we can keep this. It'd be nice if we could keep a 7-card hand. This is acceptable. We'll keep this, and we will bottom. I think we're going to get rid of the peatland, and we'll go with it. Let's see how this goes. They play out a Stomping Grounds into a Ragavan. We're cool with that. Okay, drew another peatland. We made the right decision there. Play out our Yawgmoth, pass the turn. Their turn 2. So Ragavan isn't really going anywhere here, unless they have a way to exile this Yawgmoth, which I don't think they have. Expedition map, sure. Do they not have a second land? Or are they just counting on Ragavan getting through? They don't. Wow. Wow, that's really aggressive on their part. Alright, we're going to play out our Geist. I think we're going to swing for 2 with the Geist. They take it. Ancient Stirrings. I've never actually seen that art before. That's interesting. My cat, you have mighty green eyes. They get a wooded foothills off of their Stirrings. They fetch. Basic Forest. Pithing Needle. Sure. They should name Expedition Map. Yawgmoth has been needled. Fortunately, we have a lot of answers to that. That is not one of them. Okay, we're going to attack with our Geist again. Play out my Tomb tapped, and I'm going to pass the turn from here. So, best draw from here is a Force of Vigor, I think. I think that's pretty clear cut. They play out an Urza Saga into a Renin 6. Let's see what happens from here. They uptick, get a Wooded Foothills back. So their mana is pretty fixed at this point. Alright, Beseiju was a good draw. So from here, we're going to play out the Yawgmoth. Try to buy ourselves a little bit of time over the next turn. Hopefully they can't kill this, and then we'll be able to go from there. I'll attack into the Renin 6 here for 2. See if they block with the Ragavan. They do. Alright. So they have 1 turn to get rid of our Yawgmoth here before we kind of go off. So we'll see. Saga goes up to 2. We know about a Wood Foothills in hand. They got 4 more cards in addition to that. Play out their Foothills. Okay. They hit our Yawg for 1. So they have a Bolt of some sort. Okay. Was not a card I had on my radar. I did not know they were playing that. All right, we have another Yawgmoth. Not great. So we can swing with the Geist, try to hit the Renin 6, but they can activate the Saga. We could kill the token with our Beseiju, but I don't think that's good enough. I think we lead by drawing a card. All right, we drew another Yawgmoth, so that's good. So we're going to play out our Wolf. And I actually think we're going to attack into Renin 6 here. Because we drew the Wolf, I think that this is worthwhile and it will slow down their offense a little bit. We're okay with this exchange. So they have 3 cards in hand. They're going to be able to get the Saga back off the Renin 6, but if we get an active Yawgmoth, none of that's going to matter. They get a 1-drop. Okay, and they get Grafdigger's Cage. That's annoying. Okay, they're going to ping our Young Wolf. From here, I think I'm going to get rid of the cage. I want to get rid of the needle, but I don't think I can allow this to happen. Steam Vents, and they shock. I'm not sure what's up with the Steam Vents shock here. They did that last game too. Okay. This is an interesting one. There goes our Young Wolf. Okay, so we drew into an Evo. Evo can get us a Might, but I think we wait a turn, hope that this Yawg doesn't die, and then next turn we can get a Might, get rid of the needle, and then start putting in work. We'll see. Alright, once again, seems like they have another Bolt. There it is. Okay, they play out a Soul Guide Lantern. Exile our Beseiju. Interesting. Map. Get themselves another Saga, I would imagine. Yes. Sure. What does this card do when it... And a Ragavan. Okay. And they're hellbent at this point. Okay, I think our use for this Dryad Arbor at this point is finding a Might. So I think that's what we're going to do. We really need to get this needle off the board, and we need to find ourselves a Yawgmoth. So I think that's how we're going to approach this one. All right, there's our Might. So we have a little bit of time here, not too much, because they're going to start churning out constructs. They gain 5 life off of the Arnie Slays the Troll. Plus Grist, get back a Saga. They'll play the Saga out. Sure. And they're attacking with the construct. All right, we will gladly block with the Might, and then exile their Pithing Needle. All right, so pretty straightforward. Best draw at this point is a Yawgmoth. Let's see it. Okay, that's not terrible. I don't hate that. We're gonna start eating some stuff right now. 1, and we will eat a Young Wolf, and then we will pass the turn from there. Ooze at least buys us some time, so that's not a bad thing. Their army, like I said before, though, is going to grow pretty quickly, so we do need to start finding some answers. We'll see what they get off this Saga. Okay, they get themselves a Shadow Spear. It's going to pressure us pretty quickly. They play out a land. They fetch, not sure why. Bring back a Saga, sure. Equip the Shadow Spear to the construct, makes sense. They have an 8/8 and they'll hit us for 9. Okay, we're going to block the 5/5 here. At this point, we really just need like a Force of Vigor. That's the card that's going to keep us in this, temporarily at least. I don't even know if that's good enough, to be honest. We might just need to combo kill them. Gonna eat our Geist, grow the Ooze. Ooze is not doing a good job of keeping up with these constructs right now. We are getting run over. I think I'm gonna draw a card with the Peatland. See what we draw into. 2, 3, 4. So I can grow my Ooze to a 9/9. So I think we'll leave that option up here. But I think they might even just have lethal at this point. It's gonna be close to it. Yeah, I think this is lethal. Okay, yeah, they got us. I'll scoop it up. All right, match 1. We lost to Izme on pile.deck. I think this is actually like an entity, a known thing, but I don't know, seems bad to me. All right, what is up, everybody? We are back. This is match 2 of our Modern League with Thorn of Amethyst, Yawgmoth. We are playing against Rosie54. We're currently 0-1. Rosie is going to be on the play, and I think for that reason, this hand I think is too slow. I think we have to mulligan this. All right, this hand's kind of slow too, but I'm not going to go down to 5, so we're going to keep this and get rid of a Grist, and we'll see how this goes. All right, Rosie leads on a Prismatic Vista, which is a land you do not see often these days. Used to be everywhere. You used to see that thing when Modern Horizons 1 came out. It was everywhere. Now, not so much. Search for snow-covered mountain into a Bomat Courier. So I'm guessing this is the mono-red artifact deck, which I actually have wanted to play against. So this will be good. This hand is not ideal playing against this list, but it is a matchup I want to get some games in against. So this will be good. This deck, I think, had 2 people in the top 4 of Sunday's challenge this past week, so it's probably like I would say the flavor of the week, so to speak. We're going to play out our Verdant Catacombs. We're likely going to be fetching for an Overgrown Tomb, and then going from there. Pass the turn back to Rosie. I would imagine play draw is probably pretty important in this matchup, as is having a 1-drop, particularly like a Yawgmoth. We did not have either of those things, so I'm not anticipating winning this game, but we'll see. We'll see if we can squeak one out. Bloodstained Mire is the play into a second Bomat Courier. I feel like Bomat Courier should be a creature type construct bug or insect. We're going to take 2, and end step we're going to fetch, going down to 16, get an Overgrown Tomb tapped, and move to our turn. They did not have another 1-drop, which is of note. We drew Innkeeper, which is actually pretty good against their deck. We're going to play out our Geist just to get a blocker down, and then pass the turn from there. And if we trade Geist for Courier, and then they use a burn spell on the Geist, I'm fine with that. Pass the turn back to them, they untap, 5 cards in hand, lead with a fetch. Another snow-covered mountain. Okay, so this is Goblins, I guess? They reveal a Goblin Instigator. Okay, I'm a little confused. Maybe this is like an 8-whack kind of deck? They're going wide here. I wonder if that's the strategy. We will gladly block. And they pass the turn. All right. Board state has been secured-ish. Okay. We're going to get our Grist into play, and we're going to plus our Grist just to get another blocker down. They do have creatures that can give their creatures trample if this is in fact 8-whack. So 1 toughness creatures aren't necessarily going to be good enough, but if we can get one more turn without dying, we should, I think, be able to stabilize, hopefully. Getting ourselves something like a Hapatra will be pretty good against a strategy that plays all 1/1s, as is Yawgmoth. Okay, they play out another Vista. They fetch Snow-Covered Mountain. 3 cards in hand. Goblin Grenade. Ouch. So rude. 2 cards in hand. And they play a Goblin Bushwhacker. Was not kicked, which is interesting. I guess they don't have intentions of attacking. Okay, I guess they can double activate with both of these, like activate with one on the stack, activate the other one, so they get all 5 cards into their hand. It's a pretty good refill, but we'll be able to get, we're close to getting Yawg online. I guess we don't get Yawg for another turn, but I think our life total is high enough where we should be okay. All right, they got 5 cards in hand. They already made their land drop here. Nice little trick with Bowmat Courier there. Nice use of the stack, gotta commend that. Who said combat damage doesn't go on the stack? We'll play out our Innkeeper, get ourselves a treasure, and then we will pass the turn after that. The plan is to get a Hepatra and then get a Yawgmoth. The plan is not to die, get a Hepatra, and then get a Yawgmoth. Innkeeper plus Hepatra plus Yawgmoth against a deck with all X1s. Spells game over. 6 cards in hand for my opponent. Near infinite mana, given the curve in their deck. Okay, Goblin Bombardment. It's rude. We'll see how this one goes. Our deck also has a lot of X1s, so a card like Goblin Bombardment is pretty good. Castle Embereth. Never seen that one before. Makes sense. Skirk Prospector, sure. Another Skirk Prospector, sure. You can sacrifice a goblin and still add 1 red mana to your mana pool. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? 1 mana. They already played their land for turn. 2 cards in hand. Okay, they kill our Prosperous Innkeeper. Unfortunate. And now if they try to kill our insect here, we're gonna go for Hepatra here and now. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because if they do want to kill the Hepatra, they're gonna have to board wipe themselves. And ultimately that accomplishes the same goal of what I was trying to do. Okay, from here, I wonder if I get Hepatra or if I just pass the turn. I think I'm okay getting a Hepatra here. I could also get a Blood Artist, which would stabilize my life total pretty well. Don't let me untap. Ooh, you messed up. You messed up. That was not good. That was a no good for you. 1, 2, 3. I could play Grist. All right, let's lead with an attack with the Hepatra. And then depending on how they proceed, we will move from there. I don't think we need to actually. I think we just pass. Like, we're really not under that much pressure. 3 cards in hand for my opponent. I feel like this probably is not a good matchup for them. Reckless Bushwagger has entered the revealed card zone. Surge cost has been paid, or has it not been? It has not been. So that doesn't really do anything, it's just a 2-1. I'm gonna respond. I'll get my Yawgmoth right now. Yikes, and they are not responding to this one. Okay, I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna let this resolve, and then I'm gonna do Yawg stuff during combat. And the reason I'm doing it during combat is if they do want to sacrifice for mana, which I don't think they will. I think they'll probably use the Goblin Bombardment. But if that was what they were going for, they would not be able to use the mana. We're untapping, moving back to our turn. I think we'll start now. I was going to draw a card, but I think we just play Grist out. Plus Grist. And from here, I think we can attack from here. I think we'll just attack with the Geist here and just see what they do. Like, if they want to block it, I am very much okay with that. Seems like a good trade to me. I'm okay with that. No effects. Deal 1 damage to me. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Play out my Blooming Marsh, and I will pass the turn. We have 3 creature cards in our graveyard right now. 13 life. The reason I'm mentioning creatures in the graveyard is for Grist. They have 1 card in hand. Another Bowmat Courier, sure. Moving to combat, let's see what they do here. Sure, they're going to attack. Fine by me. They set a card aside, and they draw a card. Don't even wait for me to block. Okay, another Goblin Instigator. I'm just looking for a Blood Artist at this point. I find a Blood Artist, this game is over. Alright, another Geist, not terrible. Let's start by drawing a card. Verdant Catacombs doesn't really do anything. I'm going to draw another card. Okay, another land. Also does not really do anything. Alright, we'll play out our Geist. Like at this point, fetch lands, I'm not going to be using them. It's just too much risk. And then from here, I'm going to uptick, and I'm going to attack with both my Geists. It's not a good thing when you're the Goblins deck and your opponent has a wider board than you do. Not good. Like, we're effectively at 8 life here. They need something pretty significant to be able to chip us down even lower. Block, block, sure. I'm down to 12. I'm down to 11, sure. Okay, I'll play out my foothills and I will pass the turn. All right, so main phase, they did nothing, okay. Moving to combat here, they do nothing. Second main, nothing. A lot of nothing, passing the turn back. All right, we are finding ourselves quite a bit of land here. I'm gonna start applying a little more pressure. I'm gonna Geist target my other Geist, and then I'm gonna start proliferating and getting some damage in. So we'll get 2 3/2s, we get the token off the Hepatra. We draw a card. Twilight Mirror actually is not bad because it lets us proliferate a little bit more. So we have how many creatures in our graveyard? 4 right now. Okay, I'm gonna plus the Grist, and I think we're gonna swing with just about everybody. I'm gonna start applying some pressure here. We'll leave back 3 tokens, I think is reasonable. Let's bring the heat. We'll see how they block. Like if they want to sacrifice one of their creatures and kill our Hepatra, I'm fine with that. It saves us a point of life. Okay, they're blocking Hepatra here. We'll pass priority. Let them do their thing. They put me down to 9, sure. Down to 8. So I guess if they have something like a Goblin Grenade, like if they have Goblin plus Goblin Grenade, they're pretty close to killing me. So we do need to be careful. We're down to 7. And we will have lethal next turn. So we have to just dodge 7 points of damage this turn. I think we should be able to do that. They play out a land, 2 cards in hand, and they concede. Okay, moving to game 2. That took a little longer than I would have hoped. All right, so game 2, we're gonna bring in our Scavenging Ooze. We're gonna bring in our Might. We're gonna bring in our Fatal Push. And maybe Endurance. Maybe Force of Vigor, probably not Force of Vigor. Think about an Endurance here. We're gonna shave on a Chord of Calling, and Fatal Push actually isn't great, but I think it's on the draw at least. I think we need something to slow him down a little bit. I think we shave some number of birds and a Grist maybe. The reason I'm shaving birds is just because of Goblin Grenade, but I guess they're probably going to my face with that. Maybe shave the Endurance and a Chord, another Chord. Endurance and Evo. Yeah, Endurance and Evo. That seems fine. Probably keep the Evo, shave the Chord. So we'll have 4 ways to gain life this game, which I think is pretty good. All right, we are back for game 2. I feel like I have been getting a lot of these sorts of hands. I think in our last match, we had multiples of these sorts of hands where it was like 4 or 5 lands and then just like nothing else. I don't even know. I'm gonna keep it, whatever. I feel like we have a little bit of leeway in this matchup, but I don't know. Patience is wearing thin with my deck and these mulligans. All right, opponent leads on Auntie's Hovel. Goblin Bushwhacker is coming down. There's the Bushwhacker. Love to see it. Never seen this art for this card before. We'll play out our Marsh and the Haywire Might, and then we'll pass the turn. A huge roadblock for the opposing deck to overcome, the Haywire Might. This bug does it all. It blocks, it gains life, it kills things. All right, we got a Goblin War Marshal, which has been revealed. The going wide plan is in full effect. I have concerns for Rosie and her pace of play right now. It was a 15-minute game 1 that we just had. Okay, I'm gonna take this trade. I wonder if I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna take the opportunity right now. We'll gain the life. We'll kill a creature. Maybe that's wrong. You know, they have all these pump effects, so like their next big turn, they'll have like 2 or 3 goblins, then likely pump it with a I don't remember what the cards are called, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. The one with the surge thing that we saw last game. And the other one, the Bushwhacker, that does stuff. And that land that they played. I feel like I need somebody in my ear feeding me card names as I'm doing this, so I can actually communicate effectively what I'm trying to communicate. Alright, Blood Artist, not a terrible draw. A little bit of life gain. We'll play out the Blood Artist, and we will pass the turn. I will not be chump blocking with Blood Artist this turn, but if they don't pay the Echo here, we will be gaining another life. So we'll see. Do they want to time walk themselves, or do they want to give me another life? Hey, victory. We got a life. You love to see it. Love to see it. We're curving out nicely here too. I did not mention, we didn't have the Blood Artist in our opener, but we pulled the Might. Might turn 1, Blood Artist turn 2, and we drew into an Endurance, so we have a turn 3 play as well. Well, in addition to the Grist. I'm not sure which one I'm going to play out. I might play out the Endurance, just to like sneak attack him. Block a Goblin. Gain some more life. Alright, Goblin Bombardment. Is that a combo? Bombardment plus Blood Artist? When they're on opposite sides of the field? Mog Fanatic, is that a combo? Combos everywhere. Mog Fanatic is like the Goblin that's already got Goblin Bombardment stuff attached to it. Alright, we're at 25 life. I feel like we're probably pretty safe. And I feel like, I guess, yeah, the move there is to sacrifice the Goblin token. I thought it had haste, but it does not. So, 24-16. We're doing pretty well right now. Dried Arbor, not great. We'll play out our Swamp, and I'm going to flash in the Endurance to, as I said before, sneak attack them. My opponent has 8 minutes left on the clock. We're going to be shuffling our graveyard back. Lightning Bolt. We're down to 21. Was not expecting Lightning Bolt out of this deck. Okay, Reckless Bushwhacker. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. 3 2-1s. And they are Hellbent. And they are likely in a little bit of trouble. Alright, flashing our Endurance here. Shuffle our 2 life gain creatures back into our library. And we will block the biggest threat, which is the Bushwhacker. And we'll take 4 or 5 damage, I imagine. So we'll go down to 16. It'll be a tie game. Okay, and they scoop. I think rightfully so. Next draw was a Yawgmoth too. Alright, we're 1-1. Alright, my friends. We are back. Match 3 of our Modern League. We are playing against Big Shev, or Sheev, 24. We are on the draw. And our opening 7 is beat down to the max. I'm all in on it. Let's go. Big Shev taking their first turn. How would you pronounce that? Shev? Sheev? Leading on an Inquisition. A lot of redundancy in our hand. I mean, I don't know. I guess you take a Geist, maybe? They're on black-red. I'm assuming they have a Bolt for the Hierarch or some form of removal for our Hierarch. So, yeah, take a Geist. I think that's probably the best bet. Okay, we take the Hierarch. And they pass the turn. If they go like Voidwalker into Fury, this hand is just not very good. We'll lead Catacombs because they know about it, and then pass the turn. In this sort of a situation with fetch lands where I'm going to be getting our Overgrown Tomb, I would lead Windswept Teeth normally, but I don't want to give them the information right now. Alright, they go turn 2 Tarmogoyf. So this is some sort of Jundi variant. I'll fetch right now. We'll get our Tomb. Grows their Goyf, but whatevs. Whatevs, Tarmogoyf. I don't care. Alright, Birds of Paradise. Not a great draw. Get our Geist into play. And then we will not be attacking. And then we'll pass the turn. Next turn as it stands, Birds into Geist, and then, you know, hopefully we have some form of business at that point and we can do something. It's not often that you see Jund mana bases these days. They're few and far between. Jund is kind of like a, you know, it's kind of gotten lost in the sauce a little bit for lack of words coming to my brain. Alright, Blackleaf Cliffs number 2. Scavenging Ooze. That's weird. Well, I guess they couldn't have have activated it anyway, so. Alright. Wall of Root's not bad. I think we're going to go Wall of Roots. Goif is a 3/4. Kind of getting punished a little bit for this Windswept Heath. Doing it in this order as opposed to the other order. I don't really want to downtick my Wall of Roots just so I have a good blocker for this Tarmogoyf. Eesh. Not exactly sure what to do. I don't really want to get basic either. Alright, I think I'm going to put a counter on the Wall of Roots, cast our bird. Not the most mana efficient play, but take what you can get. And then from here, I think I'm going to attack. We don't really have a good block with the Strangle Root, so I think attacking is the move here. Okay, I stepped away for a moment. Renin 6 is really bad for us. It seems to be a theme during this league. Fortunately, they can't hit our Geist and eat it right now, but unfortunately, our bird is going to bite the dust. And yeah, I can't imagine that they... No attacks. That's what I meant. Turn 4, and we draw into Yawgmoth, which is a very good draw. Gotta love it. Alright. So from here, I think I'm gonna start minusing their creatures. Once again, they can't kill or eat our ooze right now. Or our Geist, I mean. Let me tell you, talking and playing at the same time are very difficult things. I'm good at the playing part. I can talk when I'm not playing, but when you combine the both, things start getting a little squirrely. Alright, so with this gets us Hapatra on their turn, and then we can just mow down their entire board. So I think we're gonna just do that. Or we can just make like infinite blockers and then just deal with whatever they do. Hapatra is so good. Love me some Hapatra. Okay, they're minusing on our Yawgmoth. I imagine we're probably going to see a bolt, yes, and we are going to respond to that. Incoming, Hapatra. Okay, so if they have like another bolt, that will be really bad for us. Bad-ish. I'm doing it in this order just because if they can bolt my Geist, they'll take me off of Hapatra or being able to do stuff. Okay, so they're going to hit my Hapatra right here and now. And for that reason, we're going to start mowing their board down. Okay, they have another removal spell? No, they don't. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to kill the ooze, and we will kill the Tarmogoyf here. They have 2 cards in hand. Tarmogoyf is a 1/2. Okay, and they just scoop from there. Pretty good. We're up 1. Alright, so what did we see that game? We just saw Jundi spells. I think we bring in our Endurance, our own Ooze, our Veil of Summer, maybe our Fatal Push. Yeah, I think Fatal Push is probably fine. Unclear if they're playing Urza Saga. I don't think Thorn is probably very good on the draw. Definitely not on the draw, maybe on the play. Might be fine too. Might. Cards we're boarding out. We're boarding out some number of Evos. Going to board out probably some birds. Yeah, and then from there, I think actually Fatal Push. I don't think it's good enough. I think we're gonna keep that going, and we'll go with this. All right, we are back, game 2, and this is another one of those hands that I referred to in our last round, where it's just like we're overglutted on lands and we don't have a turn 1 or a turn 2 play, so we cannot keep this. And this hand is not very good, but I think it's a keep. I don't understand why we're getting so many of these types of hands. I think we get rid of our swamp. Just like a sequence of like 3 games where our draws have been Not good. Okay, so here I'm going to lead on the Yawgmoth. I'm anticipating a Wrenn and 6 on their turn. And then our next turn we'll be able to play our Wall of Roots and leave up our Veil of Summer. Like if they had a discard spell, I think they would have cast it. So this is how we're approaching this one. They fetch, get a Proving Ground, Ziatora's Proving Ground into a forest. Gotta respect the Guru Forest. And here's the Wrenn and 6, which you're anticipating. Plus, get their land back, and they pass the turn. Alright, so Grist is not bad. We'll play our land, get our Wall of Roots out there, and then with our Yawgmoth, I think I'm actually going to attack them, because Grist is going to be taking down the Wrenn and 6 on their next turn. It's already gotten so much value though, like they already got a land back, and they're going to get another land, so like it never feels bad when you're playing this sort of a game, but I don't know what else to do at this point. Kind of priced into what we just did. All right, their next turn, Burning Catacombs. We knew about that. Fetch into a Blood Crypt. They're gonna shock, I would imagine. So we're winning the life total race as it stands. Inquisition, and we'll veil that. We'll protect our Grist here. Okay, they Fatal Push from there. That's fine. And we draw into Yawgmoth, which is actually pretty good. Okay, they get their Verdant back. So they have 5 cards in hand. They're going to pass the turn from there. On our turn here, I think I want to hold on to the Besage, and then the Peatland's going to deal me extra damage, but I'm going to leave with an attack. We'll hit them for 1, and then we'll Grist down the Wrenn and 6. There's always a chance they have another Wrenn and 6, which would kind of stink. That would be bad, but I don't think I can just let them keep churning value with their Wrenn and 6. Or, I mean, maybe I can. No, I think I have to get rid of it. I don't know. I don't know what the right play is there, because if our Grist dies, like our Yawgmoth becomes worse, but there's always the chance that they just discard the Yawgmoth, like they have a form of interaction. There's another Wrenn and 6, okay. So I wonder if they minus on the Grist here. Okay. So, knew that was a possibility. Hopefully our Yawgmoth survives. But it looks like they have something to protect. Okay, Endurance, not bad. They have 3 cards in hand. And I guess the question is, do we attack with the Yawgmoth into the Wrenn and 6? Like, do they want to make that trade, Scavenging Ooze and protect the Wrenn and 6? Let's start there. Let's see what they want to do. I think I'm open for that trade if they want to make it. Okay, cool. We are okay with that. And then from here, I guess the question is, do we Yawgmoth or do we Endurance? I think I'm going to cast Yawg. And I do have the potential to... I could have Endurance, or tried to Endurance down the Scavenging Ooze there, but I don't think that's worth me potentially losing my Yawg. They have another Fatal Push here. They can kill our Yawgmoth. They have 5. I wonder if this is a Fury. Okay, there's the Fatal Push. Sure. They have 2 cards in hand. Okay, they passed the turn, so they could have eaten 1 more, but they didn't. I wonder if they realized that Grist is a creature. Maybe. Okay, from here, we have a Chord for 3. And I don't think we're going to use it right now. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're just going to... attack. Maybe that was incorrect to attack. Just in case they... it doesn't leave me the ability to Chord for 1. Alright, we're going to let that happen. It makes their ooze bigger, it makes it scarier, but I think that's the... I think we're okay with that. Overgrown Tomb, tapped. They have 2 cards in hand. Looks like they're tapping 3 mana for a Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard a land, draw 2. Card is pretty good. Attack for 5. We're going to go down to 9 here. And we're going to shuffle their graveyard. Okay, untap. So we have mana to get Yawg now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think we just pass from here. Let's see if they want to attack into this board state. I guess if they have a removal spell, it makes sense for them to do that, but 1, 2, Riveteer's Charm. Exile the top 3 cards of your library until your next end step. You may play these cards. I have not seen this one for quite some time. Let's see what you got, bro. Big Chev. Wonder if they have to reveal the cards. Okay, so Wooded Foothills, Terminate, and Ragavan are the 3 cards. Until your next end step. Okay, so they have a Terminate showing. And if they pop off this Terminate right now, alright, we're going to Chord. X is 4, yes. And we will get a Yawgmoth. Alright, and then we're going to use, we'll sacrifice our Endurance, target our Young Wolf, draw a card, and that was decent. This attack with this Ooze is a little unfortunate. Okay, I'm going to sacrifice here. The reason I'm doing this right now is if they eat this Young Wolf, this opens up the line for me to combo on my turn. So we'll see if we get there with that. All right, we're down to 1. A little sketchy. Innkeeper? Not an Innkeeper. Okay, we can deal with this Ooze now, though. Grist. Minus the Grist. Hit the Ooze. All right, and then we'll see if this is enough to stabilize or not. I have a feeling we're probably going to lose this turn, but we will see. If they can remove either one of our creatures, we just lose. Kroxa. Okay, that does not kill us. We're tapping 1 mana. Paying cost, Engineered Explosives for 1. Sure. If they pop that, it hits their Ragavan, and then I guess they can bring back their Kroxa, but they won't be able to pay for it this turn, so it doesn't really matter too much. Let's see what they do here. Okay, they're attacking with both, and I think we line up our blocks like so. Okay, yeah, so they do bring their Kroxa back this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they'll leave the Seasoned Pyromancer in the graveyard. We will be able to kill it on our turn, though. So we'll proliferate the Grist, draw a card. We will lose our Grist, though, which kind of stinks. Alright, is there a way out of this here? So I can Chord for 2, get myself an Innkeeper plus the Grist, minus the Kroxa. Maybe that's the way we win this? It's a little risky, but I also could plus the Grist, Chord for another Grist, minus kill the Kroxa. Maybe that's a better line. And then they're playing off the top. We'll try it. And if they draw something like a Ragavan, that will just be good enough to shut us down. We'll get a Grist, keep the new one, minus our Grist, kill the Kroxa. Kroxa will be back at some point, though, I imagine. Alright, what you got? They're paying costs. They have something. It's a pretty good one. Draw 2. Do we lose? Ragavan. Okay, we lost. Cool. Alright, next game. I don't know that I necessarily want to change anything. I think I'm pretty happy with this configuration, so I think we're just going to run it back. I guess I probably don't need the Might. Like, the only card we saw was Engineered Explosives, so maybe I just bring a Bird back in on the play. Or maybe an Evo. Evo on the play. Let's do that instead. Okay, game 3. Let's do it. We're on the play. Opening 7. This is a keep. We'll run with it. They mulligan to 6. And they lead on a Leyline of the Void. I guess I should have kept the Might in the deck, huh? They're on 5 cards. Alright. I think we're going to leave with a fetch. And I'm going to get a basic here and get an Ignoble into play. And then pass the turn. Our mana's a little wonky this game. I don't like how our mana lines up, but let's see if they do anything. Turn 1, they're fetching. Let's see if they kill our Ignoble. I'd almost prefer that they just discard a card out of our hand, so we'll see if they do that. Fatal Push. Okay. Turn 2. Okay. Green Source isn't bad. I think we're gonna play out the foothills into ignoble. If they have a Ren and 6, this is gonna be really bad. We'll see what they have here. Inquisition. Okay, we're gonna make use of our Veil of Summer here. We're gonna shock on this one. Our Singleton Veil of Summer coming in handy. Okay, they play out a peatland, pass the turn. They have 3 cards in hand. Really would love to see a piece of business at this point. Play out my Innkeeper, get a little extra mana here, and I'm gonna play out one Wolf. I'm not gonna play out both because we did see Engineered Explosives in game 1. And with them having Leyline, I don't want to play into that. I'm not gonna give them more than a 2-for-1 if I can help it. Okay, the Inquisition, that's fine. They'll take a Young Wolf, so maybe it was right to play it out. Yield until the next end step. And I'm not gonna crack the peatland just yet. If we don't draw anything on this turn, I'll make that move at this point. Okay, and we drew into a pretty good card. Okay, from here, I think we crack with the Young Wolf to start. Hit for 2. They did miss a land drop, so I think we're pretty far ahead here. Play out our land. Now I guess I should have probably attacked with the Innkeeper. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, we'll dump the Innkeeper and get ourselves a Yawgmoth. Okay, let's go. We got our peatland up, so we're going to be drawing a card. They hit their 3rd land. Let's see what this means here. See if they have another Fatal Push. Stomping Ground, untapped. Seasoned Pyromancer, maybe? A Maelstrom Pulse. Okay, with that Pulse, I'm going to lead by drawing with the peatland. Let's see what we draw into here. We'll dump the Hierarch as well. Okay, we drew another Yawgmoth. Good. Good, good. Now if we can find another land, we'll be able to cast out our hand here. Okay, not a land. We're still casting Yawgmoth here. Like if they're just 1-for-1ing us, we're gonna, I think, pull ahead. Just because we're getting value, we're generating value off our Yawg here. Tap 3, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the highest mana value among creatures or planeswalkers they control. Got it. They're at 9 life, they have 2 cards in hand. There's the land we wanted last turn. We'll play that out. We're gonna hit for a 3 and hope they don't have an Engineered Explosives. Put them down to 6 and yield through the turn. 1, 2, 3. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer kind of shuts down our offense a little bit here. We're going to discard 2, a Terminate, and a Kolaghan's Command. They have 1 card in hand, some blockers, yield into the end step. And here I could get the Dryad Arbor. I don't know if it's worth it though. I think I'm just going to fetch another Overgrown Tomb. This Leyline has been pretty problematic up to this point in the game. Okay, Blood Artist. That's bad for our... with the Leyline, that kind of is unfortunate. 1, 2, 3. The life total is pretty low though. I think we're gonna take the trade if they offer it up. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we'll hold off a turn here. They have 2 cards in hand. Nurturing Peatland can draw them a card as well. Feels like the momentum's starting to shift a little bit in their favor. Okay, they do nothing. We'll move back to our turn. Wall of Roots. Okay, they're going to call against command here. They're stopped in our draw step. They don't have any creatures in their graveyard, so they're going to kill the Blood Artist, discard the Wall of Roots. Sure. We'll pass the turn back. Okay, they're going to draw a card off their peatland. Up to 3 cards in hand. 2 mana up. Kroxa. Okay. So we'll take 3. We'll go down to 12 here. Moving back to our turn. Okay, that's a good draw. So I do need to be careful if I wait until their turn, there's always the chance that they just draw an untapped land and can cast the Kroxa back or escape the Kroxa. I'm taking this line because if they block the Pyromancer, I'm going to shuffle all this back into their graveyard or into their library. So this is a trade I'm now okay with. Okay, so we'll kill 2 of those. Yes. And then we're going to shuffle all this stuff. Okay, so we have a lethal threat on board if they can't answer it. They have no graveyard. There's their 4th land, so that would have been the situation where we would have been in trouble with that Croxa. Swamp. Okay, we drew into Yawgmoth. I am playing that one out main phase, and the reason being is I'm going to attack with my endurance, double trigger. Okay, so yeah, they're smart there. Okay, and they scoop. I was going to put them down to 1 life there, so we were in good shape. All right, we got there. 2 and 1. We're back for match 4 of our Modern League. We are playing against Oarsman, aka Joe Lisette. We are on the play, currently 2 and 1. Let's get after it. Let's see what Mr. Lisette is up to. It's been a while since I've played against him. Opening 7 is acceptable. This is a turn 3 Yawgmoth as it stands, so we're going to keep this. And turn 1, which land do I play out here? I feel like I lead on probably the Catacombs here. Catacombs fetch, Yawgmoth, turn 2 Cord, turn 3 Yawg. I think that's what we're going through for. I've not played against Joe in quite some time. I don't know what he's playing. He's known for playing Tron in Modern, so we'll see if that still holds true. Okay, Joe has arrived after a few minutes of waiting here. We are going to lead on our Catacombs fetch basic and play out our Yawgmoth, aka the Ragavan Stopper. Turn 2, turn 1 for Joe, I should say. Okay, power plant. So as projected, he is on Tron. He kept a 7-card hand, which doesn't feel great for us. Our turn 2, so I can play out Bird. Bird, Cord for a 1, or Cord for a 0. So Bird, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure. I think that's going to be the move. Play out the Bird, and then we're going to get a Dried Arbor on their turn. Kind of a little bit of a tell here, but we're trying to go fast here. We need to be a turn ahead of what they're doing. Now, if they have something like a Warping Whale, they can get rid of one of our creatures, but I think they would have done it on the Bird already. Okay, Evo. So we need to dodge like a Karn. Okay, we'll swing for 1. Swing for 1, step 1. And then step 2 is try to find another Undying creature here. Preferably another Yawgmoth in the top card here. No. Okay, there's that. So we're getting there. Okay, and he scoops. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, game 2. We'll bring in a Force of Vigor on the draw, a Magus, a Necro. I don't think Thorn is where we want to be. It's unfortunate we haven't been able to do anything with these Thorns here. Definitely double Thoughtseize. There's 5 cards. And do we want the Might? I feel like Might could be too slow. No, I think I don't think we bring in the Might this game. I think with Karn as well, like the Might isn't as good in this matchup. 6 cards. Okay, we're going to shave an Endurance. We're going to shave some number of Grist. We're going to shave the Hapatra, a Wolf, and a Wall, I think. And I think I like this configuration here. Let's see how this goes. Okay, this opening 7 is acceptable. This is a turn 2 Magus. Also has Besage You. Alright, so there's their map. Cool. We drew a basic. I'm going to fetch basic here. Basic Forest, play out our Bird, and pass the turn. We'll see if they have the Warping Whale to cut us off of the Evo line, but I think that's going to be the move. We'll see if they have it, as we're going for it. Oh, I almost just misclicked there. Alright, there's our Magus. Let's see what they got. Alright, there goes Magus. Magus in, Magus out. We're still okay, unless they have just natural Tron here, which would be really bad. But we do have the Besage, so we have a way to deal with this, at least temporarily. And they get a Forest here. Interesting. Interesting. That's not a bad draw. I wonder if they have if they just have like Ugin on the next turn, the fact that they mapped there and just got a basic forest, a little worrisome. We're gonna play out our bird here. Hope we don't get Ugined. We'll see how this goes. It could be trapping us if they have the tower in hand here. Okay, there's the tower. Is there an Ugin? No Ugin. Okay, second Beseiju, which isn't bad. Okay, I'm gonna lead with an attack here for 2. And then I'm just gonna pass the turn from here. And during their draw step, we're gonna do some things. We'll see if they map EOT. They do. See what they get. A Sanctum. Okay. We'll see if we're lucky enough to cut them off of 2 Tron lands here. They did. The tower was the 3rd one they played there. And we'll get rid of the power plant as well. Gotta love Beseiju. Alright, and they don't have another basic. That was actually really good for us. Okay, there's the power plant. We'll see if they have the tower next turn. We know about the Sanctum in their hand as well. Alright, we're gonna get our Yawgmoth down. Sack our Geist, draw a card here. Alright, land isn't bad. Thoughtseize is actually really good. We'll draw one more card here. Okay, Dryad Arbor, not very good. We'll swing for 3, and then we're gonna Thoughtseize them. See what they're working with. Veil of Summer, okay. It's pretty good. Pretty good. They're at 9 life. This is a close game here. Alright, here's their Tron. 2 for a star. Green source, draw a card. What you got? We knew about Sanctum. There's a relic, not a big deal. Okay. We're just like really, really close to the win here. I wonder if we can just win. They're at 9, swing for 5. Huh. Wall of Roots, Ignoble, Dryad Arbor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think they're just dead. 1, 2. Okay, put them down to 4, and then we can get our Blood Artist from here. We'll see if they have another Veil of Summer. Down to 1 here. Okay, we got there. 2 against Tron. I'll take it. I will take it. All right. After a 0-1 start to our league, we are now 3-1, playing for the 4-1 with Thorn of Amethyst, Yawgmoth. Thorn of Amethyst has seen the battlefield, a big fat goose egg, 0 times. Match 5, 3-1. Let's go. Wu-Tang, 08. Shout out to Wu-Tang. Saw Wu-Tang in concert last October. Big fan. I'm on the play. Let's go. Opening 7 is very solid. We are going to keep this hand. They reveal a Gigantha. This card is everywhere. Let's do it. See if we can lock up this 4-1 here. They keep their 7-card hand, and we are going to lead on one of our best turn 1 plays, a Bop. Playing against a Gigantha deck, we expect this Birds of Paradise to bite the dust, to wind up in our graveyard. We'll see if this happens. Okay, basic island. You don't see that every day. Turn 2 off of a basic island. What are you doing over there, Wu-Tang? So I think I'm just gonna go Innkeeper into Geist. We don't really have another way to use our mana right now outside of the cord, but we can't really ramp any quicker. So we're gonna make use of what we got here. I think this is the most efficient play for our turn. Okay, they lead on a Consider. Mill over a Fiery Islet. I wonder if this is the Breach deck. 2 mana, Ledger Shredder, sure. Shredder into Bauble, cool. Churning out their value early and often here. And they Bauble looking at my top card. Best draws at this point, Yawgmoth obviously really good. Drawing into a Grist would be really good. Hierarch actually isn't bad. I'll take that. That makes our Geist actually a legitimate threat here. So we'll take that. We'll get our hit in, play out our Heath, and then pass the turn from here. So they have 6 cards in hand. We'll see what they do at this point. Next turn, we're looking to chord for a Yawg. That's our game plan. We play out an Arid Mesa and fetch, get a sweet looking basic mountain, a second Ledger Shredder. If they tap out here, I am very happy to see that. They get double Connives, so they'll buff their Shredders, but we're okay with that. 3 card types in the graveyard, so their Dragon's Rage is not a 3/3 as of yet. 4 card types in their graveyard. Their Dragon's Rage is a 3/3. We'll see if they swing in with the 2/4. They do. We will not block. And we're going to fetch out our Dryad Arbor here. So as long as they don't have something crazy like a Force Negation, we're going to be in really good shape here. Alright, go to our turn. Beseiju doesn't really do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're going to lead on our chord, and we're a Yawgmoth off of just winning the game this turn. Get our Yawgmoth. Yes, please. Start by chipping down the Dragon's Rage here. See what we draw into. We'll gain a life, compliments of our Innkeeper. Dump the Dryad Arbor. Okay, and that's infinite at this point. So we will be able to, I think, kill them from here. Yeah, we'll be able to get a double endurance and just kill from this point forward. Gotta love that double endurance. Ooh-wee. Dump a Spell Pierce. Bet they would have liked to have that mana up for that. Alright, we'll see if they just scoop from this point forward. They might not. They might not give it to us, but we'll see. Okay, and they do. They do. Wu-Tang. Thank you. Alright, let's go to game 2. We are going to bring in a pair of Endurance. I think on the play I'm going to bring in the Thorns in this matchup. I don't think I'm going to play it in the draw. I think I'm going to bring in the Push and Ooze and the Might. I think we'll just bring in those 5 cards and we'll shave on some number of Hierarchs, some number of Evos. I'm treating this kind of like Blue-Red Murktide. I'm anticipating they're going to be bringing in some number of counter spells. Maybe I just go like, maybe I do bring in the Thorns. Yeah, let's do it. Let's cut the extra Evo. And what else do I cut here? I like the chords because they're instant speed, but maybe they're just not as good in this matchup. Maybe we cut the Might. I think maybe we cut the Might. Let's cut a Geist. I think that's probably better. We'll do it like this. Let's see if Thorn shows up here. There's a Thorn. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it, y'all. We'll keep this hand. I like this. I really like the new artwork on these things too. The I don't know what they call it, the blueprint looking things. I think they're pretty sweet. All right, so they play out a Canal and pass the turn. We draw into a second Thorn. Yikes. I'm just going to play out my Tomb tapped and pass the turn. They're representing a Bolt. I'm not going to play my bird into that. Steam Vents untapped. 2 mana Shredder, sure. Okay. I'm actually going to go Thorn here. I'm just going to slow down their development. Keep their creatures at a relatively low power. Make their plays inefficient. And then from here, I wonder if we try to stick a second Thorn, or if maybe they have a Spell Pierce for that. Maybe we just play out our Twilight Mirror, Wall of Roots. Let's see what they do here. Okay. I wonder if I do anything else. Do I try to jam the second Thorn here? It's going to trigger the Connive. Maybe we just hold off for now. On their next turn, maybe we'll chord and then go from there. 2 mana Consider. How's that feel? How does that feel? I wonder if they have a prismatic ending. We'll see. Okay, hit for 1. Card is definitely not as scary when it's only hitting for 1. Okay, Grist the Hunger Tide. We like that card. 1, 2, 3. Grist +1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll get a 1-drop. Okay, I think I'm going to go Grist here. And then we're going to get a 1-drop on their turn, depending on what happens here. When I say a 1-drop, I mean like a Yawgmoth. Sacred Foundry untapped. They're shocking themselves. Okay. 2 mana to bolt my Grist. What's next? Oh, that's unfortunate. Teferi. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to lose our Grist here, but I don't think that's the end of the world. They have 3 cards in hand. This Shredder really isn't too imposing as it stands. Okay, there's another Shredder. Cool. And they have 2 cards in hand. I think I'm going to Chord here. I'm going to get our Dryad Arbor. See if they have a Bolt for it. They're thinking about something. Might have a Bolt for our Wall of Roots too. Yeah, and they trigger both their Shredders here. I did open myself up to that line. A little unfortunate. So they have 2 2/4s. And from here, that was a really good draw. Play out our Yawg. Green mana, play out our Wolf. We will trigger both of those. I imagine at least one of them will be growing. 3/5. Helping their cause a little bit here. Alright, we're going to start chipping this one down, I think. Focus our attention on one of them. Okay, that's not bad. Verdant. Get ourselves a basic, get a bird in play. We'll dump this one down a little bit more. Hierarch's not bad either. So we'll chump block the 1 Shredder, and then we'll minus to give our Wolf a counter there, potentially. Or maybe we just hold off. I think we just take the hit for 3 here. Let it happen. We have 2 cards in hand. We're almost in a position where we can just start proliferating and just kill them from there. I'm going to lead on Twilight Mirror. And then 3 mana, I'm going to play out another Thorn. See how they feel about this. Okay. Double Thorn. Seems good. And then we'll, I think we'll attack for 4. Put them down to 10. And then I'm going to pass the turn from here. I have 3 cards in hand. Okay, I think I'm going to take this one last hit here. Play out a Spire Bluff tapped. Sure. And we're going to proliferate here end of turn. Dump that Shredder down a notch. And we'll move to our turn. Alright, Verdant Catacombs doesn't do too much. We'll attack for 4 to start with. Still no blocks, very interesting. Play out a Hierarch. And then pass the turn. See how this goes. 1, 2, 3. Prismatic Ending on my Yawgmoth. Alright, I will respond by putting a counter on there. And then minusing over here. So we're down to 6 life, so if they do have something like Double Bolt, okay, that's a really good draw. See what they have from this point. We're going to be blocking here, and they consider, sure. Make sure I'm not auto-yielded here. So I think they're just dead. Yeah, they're just dead from here. So we'll proliferate. Done there. Okay, sure, you get your counter if you would like it. And they scooped. All right, double Thorn. All right, that felt good. You got there. All right, so that's, I'd say that was a successful leave. We started off with the 1-2 against kind of a nonsense deck that I've never seen before in terms of like the power conduits and all that stuff. And then we just rattled off 4 in a row. And Thorn of Amethyst, I can't speak, it's really late here. I've worked all day, so I'm not 100% right now, but Thorn of Amethyst looked pretty good in that matchup. That was pretty impressive. All right, so Yawgmoth version 8.7 put up a really solid 4-1 record over the course of that league. I've really been liking Patron in the main deck over the Messenger. I honestly, in the, I don't know, 15 matches I played without Messenger in the main since I made that switch, I've been very happy with it. It hasn't come up where I've been like, oh, I wish I had Messenger in this instance. Haven't had that issue, so this has been really good. Double Endurance, always a superstar. You know, ensured the victory that game 1 of match 5, and then just, as always, it's just really good. And, you know, the main deck configuration, I really don't have any thoughts of changing anything. The only things I would explore once again would be the mana base. Because the format is so aggressive, I could see myself potentially going back to playing a Yawgmoth and an Urborg. I really don't like Urborg, but I feel like if you're going to squeeze those lands into the deck, you kind of want both to have an extra black source and an extra green source. I don't know yet. I don't know, but that's something I'm thinking about. The sideboard, Fatal Push, it just seems the impact of it doesn't seem great. But Double Thoughtseize, really good in that Tron match. Well, I guess actually it wasn't good in that Tron matchup. It got bailed, but in an ideal world, it's good against Tron. All this stuff looked fine, and then I'm really happy in that last match that we had the opportunity to get Thorn. We drew both of them, so we really got the chance to show what it can do, and I think it made the game very difficult for our opponent, and it really neutralized their threats. Their Ledger Shredders, we were the ones that were pumping them. They weren't able to do it effectively, so that was kind of cool to see that. So I don't know the future of this card in this deck, but I like the idea of it, and I like that it's really good against a lot of the top decks in the metagame right now. So it's going to be on my radar. It's something I'll probably play with a little bit more. I don't think I'll be running it in the challenge this weekend, but I don't hate the card, and I don't think it's a bad option if your metagame has a lot of Cascade, a lot of Prowess, a lot of Breach, a lot of Murktide. I think this card is a very reasonable inclusion. So I am checking out. It is super late. I'm filming late to get this out to you guys tomorrow morning, and I'm happy that I've got this done, and you can hopefully enjoy this when it goes live. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I will see you all next time. Be sure to subscribe, leave me a comment, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. All right? It was real. I'll see you next time. Be well, everybody. All right?